So you guys find yourselves in the shared living quarters. So since it's a giant hard slab, how would that go for the two of you? It's like king size ish bed size.
But it's wood, right? It's like,
It's basically like hard metal.
ooh,
No, they don't
Like
have any
it's
blankies,
like
do they?
no, and it's like a shaped up part of the ship. Like it's not like rigid, like riveted metal, but it's just a part of like the ship molded to be a place to lay upon.
Vulcans are tougher, so would Sova be okay with it? I don't think the room would bother him. I think being in the room with Knightley, the smells and probably the noise would be more awful than the actual bed itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it would be in comparison, I think it would be a treat to have the door closed and then only have to deal with what's in the room.
Yes.
What about you, Knightley?
Well, yeah, I mean, I hate every second of it. It's uncomfortable. I don't have my coffee. I don't have my blankies. It's like this
Not
is rough. This is not
Well,
enjoyable.
you have discovered a thing that they have a Klingon word for it and you don't know what it is, and it's pretty good tasting.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know at this time what it's called, but they're basically serving you Roctaginos.
mm,
Wow. All
But
right. Well, that
but
doesn't
they're
help my sleeping arrangements, but
yeah, but
but
you could
that
easily fold up some clothing and use it as a pillow.
that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, I guess that's what I would do. I would just do the best I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you watch Sova just lay there on his back with
Oh
with
God.
his hands resting on his chest and his
yep.
eyes are closed. He seems to have no problem sleeping on the slab. He doesn't even
Wow.
use bunched up clothes for a pillow. He just lays there
Wow.
like he's on a funeral pyre or something. He's just laying.
That's rough. I think we can all agree that Sova sleeps better than Knightley does. Sounds
Yes.
like.
But over the 9 days
Mm.
of doing this, you both have an unique insight into each other's idiosyncrasies and habits.
Yeah.
You notice that Sova does a lot of calculated, like hygiene routines before and after he goes to sleep.
Hmm.
You notice that he does things in a numbered sequence kind of thing.
Mm. Gotcha.
And you, Sova, notice that Knightley doesn't do well talking to you until she gets that special kind of drink that the Klingons are giving her.
Yep.
Once she gets that in her, you can ask her as many questions as you want. But until then, she doesn't really respond the way that you would like her to at times. So you guys are traveling to Arolis Prime to see what Gom'rok's plan is with a Denobulan colony that is on that planet. It is near the Klingon border, and through bribing traders and sensor outputs for information, it confirms that Gom'rok and his supposed planet killer weapon is en route to this colony. So, is there anything you guys would like to do before we fully advance 9 days?
With each day that passes and like the more time that Knightley spends with Gowry, she kind of is becoming increasingly less like on edge and angry.
Okay.
Like she's nowhere near like happy and comfortable and content, but like
Okay.
she's not as like angry all the time and feisty kind of like she's kind of
She's
she
easing.
yeah, like she kind of laughs at some goofy things that Gowry says or stuff like that. She's easing up. You can tell she's not as tense.
I would like to attempt to meditate.
Okay. Yep. I'll let you do science presence at difficulty 2.
13. I did it.
Wow, you're so good at meditating.
So, if you going forward, you can mark this down on your little personal log. Going forward, if you are to do anything in an EVA suit or on a Klingon vessel, if you are to use your mind, it will lower the difficulty by 1.
It only lasts for the mission.
It'll last for the extent of your time. So it could be beyond the mission. Okay, so anything else?
I would like to read up anything that Gowry will allow me to on Klingon ships, weapons, just so I would be better suited for the upcoming battle, most likely.
Okay, yep, no problem. Yeah, Gowry gives you access to as much, pretty much whatever you ask, he gives you because he understands that you're not like looking to defeat the Klingon Empire. You're looking to handle what is ahead of everyone. So 9 days later come, you're called to the bridge, and this is what you hear at the bridge station.
To any ships in range. This is colony official Qel'thoq of Arolis Prime. We are under attack. Klingon forces are destroying our colony and the bombardments are getting worse. We have no means to leave Arolis Prime. Anyone please help us, I repeat. To any ships in range. This is colony.
So they intercept a distress signal, and you are mere minutes away from Arolis Prime. Now, Arolis Prime is a dual colony. It's used to mine resources for Denoblia and also the Federation in general, but it is also a small little resort hub for travelers and merchants and traders in this area. The colony hosts 310 colonists, and also the colony is a good foothold for the Federation, as it holds strategic importance because the Federation doesn't have colonies this close to the border. It's also kind of like symbolically significant to the area because Denoblia isn't really known to really like spread its wings too much. They basically just go and help other people and just like, I don't say latch on, but essentially like grab on and like make that thing better rather than them expanding and making themselves better. It's not really a normal thing for Denoblians. Okay. So you guys are on the bridge and the officer at the helm says, Captain, we can see a ship on sensors. And Gowry says, on screen. And so comes up on screen and you can see Arolis Prime. In orbit is a vessel. So you see this vessel orbiting Arolis Prime, and they are shooting different types of weapons onto the planet. So Gowry says, there, Gom'rok's vessel, destroy it. And they begin a attack pattern and begin assaulting Gom'rok's vessel.
Wow.
Now, Gom'rok's vessel takes a few hits, but the surprising thing that happens is Gowry's ship is now getting returned fire also while they're bombing the planet. They're able to direct their weapons in 2 different directions.
Oh.
So Gowry says, Captain, we must prevent further destruction and protect as many Denobulians as possible. The Federation will only view this as a Klingon attack. They will not see it as a one-sided matter. They will see it as the Klingon Empire, and they will start war. We must stop this. What do you guys want to do?
Okay. Could I attempt like a reflection of the energy, so therefore it doesn't hit as hard?
Yeah, we can have you do a science insight difficulty 2 with a complication range of 19 and 20.
Radioactivity would not count, right?
No, not with what they're hitting the ship with, no.
I didn't think so. So I got 2 successes.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to basically dissipate some of it so that they can take a couple more hits a couple volleys before they have to kind of like remaneuver and come from a different angle. So they can take a few more hits and get a little bit closer and stay on their kind of strafing attack runs a little bit longer. As they're doing this, it sort of seems like they're not making a ton of headway.
I would like to scan them to see if I could help figure out some sort of weakness with the ship.
That's a science control difficulty 1. Go ahead.
So I rolled a 6 and a 20.
Oh,
Hmm.
Nor.
And we have no
No.
momentum at the current time, so there's literally nothing I can do.
So it's a success with a complication.
Yes.
So what you see when you scan the ship is that there is some sort of radiation on the ship,
Right.
but you can't scan it deep enough to get any type of helpful like weakness of it. It's like the radiation is just too much for the Klingon sensors. So Gowry says, Captain Lieutenant, the only way to have some sort of victory here is we have to save those below. I will focus my attention on the ship up here, and I suggest that you and the lieutenant lead an away team to the surface and focus on evacuation and medical aid. You can have officers Dedroka, son of Teja, Jala, son of Galax, and Bela, daughter of Kabig.
That's more up my alley right there. That's more what what Starfleet is about. So yeah, I would happily lead an away team
Okay.
and go and let's go see what we can do.
And so, as you guys are getting ready to go, Officer Todroka says to you that there's radiation exposure on the planet, which will limit our time on the surface. And also, Gom'rok's ship is periodically bombarding the colony.
Right.
Because of these two things, transporter signals are unreliable because the atmosphere is becoming ionized. So we must only take a shuttle down.
All right, let's do it.
They say that there are 310 of them down here. Our troop shuttles can hold 15 at a time. And we only have 2, so we can only bring up 30 at most.
That's gonna be rough.
We'll try to make as many trips as possible, but it's going to be difficult.
Okay. Well, then we better get a move on.
I agree. So, one in each of them to pilot, and then an extra officer to go with you. The pilots are Jarla and Bela. They are the pilots for each of the troop shuttles, and Todroka is going to be like the officer assigned to you guys to follow along on the ground.
Okay.
So Gowry takes like a couple fancy maneuver turning with the Qel'thoq, and then you guys drop out. Now, when you're in the shuttle, this troop shuttle, it's very much kind of like a subway kind of setup. There are no seats in here. It's just like handholds on the ceiling, and the sides of the doors are kind of like van doors. They kind of just would slide open.
Okay.
Because this type of shuttle is made to literally bring Klingon troops down to like 10 plus, like 10 or lower feet. And then the 15 Klingon troops pile out of the sides of these things. And then the shuttle lifts back up and, picks up another set. So you guys breach the atmosphere and you begin your descent down to Arolis Prime. And this is what you see.
Okay. That's cool.
So it's a combination of a underground and above ground colony.
Cool.
And obviously the burning smoke things are from destruction.
Got it. Makes sense.
So you come down and you can hear large explosions and you can hear like disruptor fire. You can tell that there are likely Klingon troops on the ground as well.
Mm.
So they land fully on the ground. They don't stay hovering, and the shuttle has come to the rest. It is up to you guys now. The ball is in your court.
All right. That big thing that was in the middle, uh, can we like grasp that that's an underground
You
thing that we could
generally
get into?
understand because of being in the Federation, like this colony setup isn't really unique. Like other colonies use this type of system on other worlds. Like you, as the captain and Sova, like you know this kind of thing. You're not familiar with Arolis Prime, other than the fact that it's like one of the pretty much only Denobulan colonies. But yeah, you can tell that it wouldn't be a stretch for you guys to know that it's an up and down colony.
Okay. So I would say our best bet is to get, inside the colony and see who we can like speak to like get out to get them
Yeah,
start getting them on the shuttle.
forgot to mention, you guys are like on the edge of the colony so that you're not getting hit by the bombardment.
Okay.
So you're like where those like kind of stone wall kind of like mountain things were.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of where you guys are.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Let's have our main goal be to get to that point, to get to the,
To the center.
into the center. But along the way, we just tell people we're here to rescue you. We have two Klingon shuttles waiting that can take you up like 15 at a time. The thing is though, like how are they going to trust us? So I literally feel like I'm going to have to tell them that like I'm Captain Knightley of the USS Drake. The Federation is working with this sector of Klingons, this like faction to help you, like, right? I mean,
We'll have to see what happens.
okay.
So what is the first thing that you're doing?
I know there was talk of radiation. Do we have any special suits we have to wear or anything?
I mean, you could have something on you if you want.
I would like to.
Okay. So you guys want to be in EVA suits?
Yeah, I feel like that's
Okay.
a safer option than just
Okay.
wearing it.
So you recommended it to all three of them and yourself and you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are in your EVA suits. What would you like to do now?
Can we say this while we were piloting, like we laid out our plan?
Okay.
I would suggest that the Klingon officer that's coming with us lead the way and kind of like defend us from the front, and we'll cover like Sova and I will cover the back.
Okay.
And the plan is to reach the center so that we can find like whoever is in charge and
Mm,
discuss like what we're doing on your planet.
Can I do a bioscan to make sure we're not going into an ambush?
sure. That's science control difficulty 1.
All right, I got one success.
So you do a general broad scan, and you can see that there are several Denoblians scattered all the way going to the center kind of building, and that you can see kind of coming from one side of the thing, mostly to the right hand side, are kind of like groups of Klingons in between the center and the outermost part of the colony, and they're walking in that path direction. They're staying in the middle. That's what you get like in like the probably a mile around you. So Todroka opens the thing, and immediately when the door opens, there is a huge wave of debris and like dust and smoke and everything, and you can hear far off into the distance like people shouting, and you can hear a lot of disruptor fire. And you're watching the center that you're aiming towards being periodically bombarded from orbit. So Todroka says, Come with me, Captain and Lieutenant. And he steps off of the troop shuttle and begins to pretty much hustle towards the center.
Yeah. Okay. We follow.
So you're all kind of like hustling. I wouldn't say full on like sprinting. And as you're going, you can see way out, you can see a good, like, kind of like a down the road kind of look where you can kind of see people. They're like little grains of rice down from you. You can see that there are these little green like lines are coming off of these dark grains of rice, and they're shooting at other grains of like lighter color grains of rice in the opposite that are running either towards you, like are getting bigger as they move towards you, or are moving away from the green lines.
Mhm.
So you keep progressing, and you're watching debris and fire and parts of the center erupt as more bombardment, like torpedoes, are hitting the center. Now you get something on your hand scanner, Sova, so let's have you roll a science reason difficulty 1.
2.
Okay, so 1 momentum.
So we finally have them, and
So what you see on your hand scanner, you get alerted that the levels of radiation on the planet are increasing dramatically. Not just like normal kind of radiation you would expect from maybe some sort of weaponized attack that uses radiation. Basically, the readings you're getting are improbable with the weapons that you're seeing coming from the sky and also being seen fired on the planet. You would make the educated guess that what the Klingons are firing are not producing this level of radiation. And the other thing that you notice is that the radiation is emanating beneath the ground.
Hmm. Interesting. All right, let's just try to find a Denobulan, like somebody that we can talk to.
Sure. So you could see off, there's a little ways away is a person who looks like a Denobulan from a distance. So you progress towards that individual.
Okay.
And as you get closer to them, you can see that they are running, but then they're also kind of confused.
Yeah, to see a Vulcan and a human
Well, to basically see a Klingon and a
with a
human and a Vulcan in EVA suits on the
yeah,
planet.
yeah.
And they say, "Oh, what? Like, don't
So
kill me! Don't kill me! It's I just we're just trying. We'll leave. It's okay."
I would just say like calm down. I'm Captain Knightley of the USS Drake. I'm with the Federation.
Oh, you're with the Federation.
With the Federation.
Oh,
This is my
oh.
Lieutenant Sova. She can tell it's a Klingon,
We have
right?
Klingons in the Federation.
I'll say we're working together.
You're working with the Klingons.
We're working with these clans, this faction of Klingons
Wha-
who
The ones that are bombarding.
a different faction we're fighting against the ones that are bombarding.
Oh, wow.
Um, listen,
Okay.
we're here to save you. How do we contact how do we can you make like a widespread like announcement?
Uh, I mean, we'd have to kind of move back towards the explosions. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have anything out here that would easily make this happen.
Okay. Uh, who are you?
My name is Trillip.
Trilip, what's your position on the planet here? Trilip.
Oh, I'm like a maitre d' at one of the restaurants.
Okay. Okay. Trilip, who's in charge of your colony? What I need names and where to find them.
That's colony official Yuckox.
Yuckox. Okay. Where would I find this person?
She's usually she's usually in the center. I would assume she's still there. She told us to evacuate,
Okay. What's with
and
all the radiation emanating underground?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. What do you mean?
We just are picking it up on our scanners.
Oh, is that why I feel so hot?
Likely so. Run to our shuttles. They'll and
Where are
wait
they?
there.
Where?
Up there over the mountain.
You just kind of point generally behind you.
Yeah. He
Okay.
said go wait there for more.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So I would then just keep progressing to try to, try to find somebody that is a little more helpful. That knows something.
So as you progress, you start to come upon like a group of people, and as you progress towards them, what you see is a male and female Denobulan holding a baby Denobulan,
No, no. Don't do this to me. Okay.
and they are nearby a slain female Denobulan and a slain Klingon male.
Why you do this? All right.
And they are being approached by two other male and female Denobulans.
Okay. So I would run to them
Okay, yep.
and announce myself. Say I'm again, like I'm from with the Federation. I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, you're for the Federation. The Federation. You heard her call. You heard her.
Yes, I'm responding to your distress signal.
Oh, okay.
And
Can
then
you
I would
beam? Can you beam us up?
we can beam you up. There's too much interference. There's too much
Oh,
radiation.
oh, they're
But
killing us.
I need you to listen to me very carefully. I and my lieutenant and my friend are working together. We have two Klingon shuttle pods over the hill ready to take you up to our ship.
Well, I mean, I can see that you're a human and you're a Vulcan. I, I mean, what other choice do we have, right?
You have no other choice. Get that baby to the shuttle and wait for more Denoblians to get on board. Tell any Denoblians you see to get to the shuttle.
Okay. So the five, including the baby, begin to go towards that direction. So you begin to progress towards the center more.
Yes.
So as you're getting within, you know, just a little ways, you can start to make out better definitions of like the how the center looks from the ground. You, Sova, see this thing drop from the sky into the ground. Let's have you roll science insight difficulty 2. It drops from the sky and it impacts the ground, and it is starting to rip up the ground it has landed on.
I'm gonna buy an extra dice to see if I can get more successes. And I did. So does it have to do with radioactivity?
Yeah.
It does? Okay.
Yep.
So that means I got 4 successes out of that.
Okay, so 2 momentum back.
Very nice.
So what you notice is that this appears to be a javelin-like machine that is weaponized to be deployed into the surface that is apparently drilling into the colony bedrock, and that from the scans that you're seeing, that if you were really close to this thing, it is emitting lethal levels of radiation.
Jeez. What a bunch of jerks. Okay, so now we understand where the radiation is coming from.
So you get to the outer part of the center hub there that you noticed, and there is a handful of people scattered about. And this is where the debris, the smoke, the fire, the mess is the worst. You
Okay.
are now at like essentially ground zero.
Okay. As we're walking, are we coming across bodies of
No, you have not
Denoblians?
crossed any dead bodies.
Okay. But there are Denoblians here in this area.
Correct.
Okay, so again, just similar conversation. with these people. Like I'm responding to your distress signal. I'm Starfleet. Are any of you in charge?
No, 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 I don't think colony official Yukaks survived. I don't know. We just barely got out. And as this individual is talking, everyone like shudders as an explosion, an orbital explosion happens pretty close nearby. And your
Okay.
suits are pelted with ground and building parts and things of that nature, but not
Okay.
enough to like pierce you or anything, just enough that you can hear it hit your suits.
Okay. So are you in acting?
I am one of the other magnates of the colony, but I don't know. There's so many more above me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
in charge or not. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you're good enough. So I would ask him, do you have a communicator on you?
Oh, I don't, but maybe. And then you see another Denobulan say, like, I have a communicator.
Okay, so I would let that person know, like I would explain the situation to them that we have ships waiting for you.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
let your people know that we have small shuttles waiting to fly 30 of you at a time.
Okay. Oh,
So I
just head
need
for the horizon in that direction there.
yes, but I need you to let as many of your people as possible know.
Okay. And so the one Denobulan starts talking, and then he says, they're telling us that there are some injured inside the center.
Okay, I will head that way. Me and my crew. You get to the shuttles.
Why are you? Why is there a Klingon with you?
And then Knightley just takes a big sigh and says, "It's too long of a story to explain to you right now. I'm Federation. Trust me. This is your only choice. Get to the shuttle."
Okay. And so this pocket of people start to run off in that direction. So, what would you like to do now?
Man, I think what I would like to do is have Sova keep kind of doing what we're doing up on the surface, like going to people, letting them know, like, hey, we're Starfleet, we're responding to your distress call, we're working with these like this faction of Klingons, go. Basically, like just get everyone out as much as possible, and then me and the Klingon officer go into the, inner colony, um,
Okay.
and get some
Okay, so you guys go into like
yeah.
the wrecked part of the center.
Yeah, to where they said that there was injured.
Oh, to where there was injured.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys go in. We'll cut to Sova on the outside. You, Sova, which direction are you heading? So you're like, if you're looking at the entry kind of way where they went, are you going to the right or to the left of the exterior?
Let's go to the left.
So you progress down the way, and there are a few Denoblians who are in various states of like standing, sitting, crouched, laying down.
Do they look injured or
From a distance, they don't look great, but it's hard to tell the extent of their injuries, if they have any.
okay? I would try to inform them to, if they can, to get up and to head towards the shuttles.
Oh, Vulcan? Are you are you with the Federation? Is the Federation here?
There's a faction of Klingons who are fighting against the attackers, and we are helping to try to save you.
The Federation is working with the Klingons?
Only a very specific faction. They do not find honor in attacking civilians. So
I
that's why
guess
they're fighting against the attackers right now.
I guess we don't have time to debate the ethics of it, but our friend here needs medical assistance.
Okay.
So you take a look at the person and you notice that they are less injured from like weapon fire or like explosions, that you see that they are having the early symptoms of like radiation sickness.
Oh.
So you can roll a science reason difficulty 1.
I got two successes.
So 1 momentum back.
Okay.
You see here fully that they have they're at stage 1 radiation sickness. The only thing that you can really do at this moment is just to have these Denobulians like pick this person up and get them away from this area, like get them off of the planet.
I let them know that it's the beginning of radiation sickness and
Oh,
they need to hurry to the shuttles to avoid further contamination.
oh, that makes sense. We're all a little warm. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, where, where, sir? Where did you say?
So I would point, but I basically describe like the exact direction they need to run.
Okay, thank you. And they all, two of them basically are like dragging not like on the ground, but like carrying the one, and the other couple are following right behind. Slow, they're kind of slow, but they are progressing. So we cut back to Knightley and Detroka in the destroyed part of the center. Now, parts of it are like totally fine. It's just kind of like dim and has like chunks of debris and things of that nature, like bits and parts of things scattered all over the floors and on things. And imagine like a nice mall setting, but there's all these like chunky pieces of like building and things like on pottery and on nice little fountains and things of that nature. And you can hear people like shouting, and you can hear disruptor fire.
Just progress until we find somebody to speak with.
So as you go down the thing, you come into like a central kind of like middle area, which kind of seems like a plaza kind of thing. And you can see all this signage that's like this way to this thing, like this to the eatery, this to like gaming area, like this to like rooms. You kind of get like this is like a central location, like a little hub spot.
Yeah, all right. So let's head that way.
Which way do you want to go?
You send me towards accommodations.
So you progress down that way, and as you get to this part of the hallway, there are these rows of turbo lifts, and then there is like a balcony. So it's like a row of turbo lifts, and then it extends a little bit to a balcony, and then there's an overlook, and then you can see tops of like plants and stuff, like almost like trees
That's
that are
cool.
these plants or trees are at like a similar height to the balcony like railing.
Cool. Let me run to the railing and look down.
So you run to the railing and you look, and through like some of the leaves and stuff, you can see that there is several squadrons of Klingons walking below.
Mm.
And
But other
there are a lot of them.
okay, and otherwise it's quiet.
They're not firing, yes. Other than that, it's quiet.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, well, we're not going down there because it's only two of us. So let's head towards the like eatery place.
So you head back, you pass the turbo lifts, and you go and you progress down the eatery. And then as you come across, there like little bays that have little recesses that where you can see where all these signages and all these things of all these places, like, eat this kind of thing, eat this kind of thing. You have all of your traditional kind of like foods that you would expect to see being advertised. And as you progress through this eatery at the far end, it's almost like a greenhouse kind of thing and then there's all these like tables and booths and stuff. And you can see as you approach the like the seating area, you can see that there is a good size of people standing over by a broken part of like the greenhouse. Like they're looking out of like a broken part of of the area.
Okay. And they're all Denobulians?
They don't look like Klingons.
Okay. All right. So I would, gesture to my Klingon friend and say, let's like go over that way and talk to
So
them.
as you approach, you hear a couple of them say, "They're here! They're here!"
Oh
And
boy.
a couple shots of phaser fire is aimed at you.
Okay, I would just yell like I'm with the Federation. I'm responding to your distress call. I'm here to help. I have shuttles waiting for
The
you.
Federation, but you're not in you're not in Federation gear.
Yeah. So I like what Sova said, but I didn't hear that. So so I would just explain yet again to these people that it's fine, relax, do what they tell you.
I mean, this is pretty hard to believe.
Well, I understand. I sympathize. I wish I could offer you more proof in this moment, but there's, 4 squadrons of Klingon patrol officers down the hallway. So unless you want to deal with them, I suggest that you follow us.
And then a couple of them are like, "I say we shoot him." Just so you know, you're not dealing with like 5 people. You're dealing with like 40 people.
Yeah. Would like to attempt to use my persuasion
Okay.
and just reason with them and explain the situation, like take my EV helmet off and look them in the eye holes and tell them, you know, what's going on.
Okay. So you say all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's command presence difficulty 3.
We have 3 moments to use.
All right, yeah, let me buy a momentum or a dice, I mean, with the momentum. I got 3 successes.
Okay. So you say all of this. You're like saying everything to them. You kind of seem to be like sort of winning them over. Like a couple of them that have phase pistols aimed at you are like lowering them. But the second you say Gowry's name, they kind of all look at each other and they're like, "Gowry? You're telling us that you're here with Gowry?
Yes, we're working together to save you.
How are you here to save us with Gowry? He's like a mass murderer.
Where is this information coming from?
Everyone who's in this area knows that. It's not really hidden information.
What's your facts?
I mean, he's done nothing but destroy colonies all along the border.
Have you seen his face do it? How do
No,
you know it's him?
it's what everybody talks about. All the traders and merchants and people that come through this area all talk about to avoid Gowry and his men.
Have you ever thought that somebody is just giving you the wrong name? That there is a Klingon out there doing these atrocities, but it's not Gowry?
Not really. I mean, we don't really go around thinking that if one Klingon's name is being used, that they're probably incorrect and it's another Klingon. And so Detroka says to you, and he says under his breath, "Captain, they they have been lied to."
Yeah, and that's what my like gut instinct was. So I would say to them, if this is true, that Gowry is the one that you should fear, why would he have come all this way with shuttles to save you instead of just joining Gom'rok, who's blasting your planet with radiation and killing you?
How do I know that you're not just going to take us into pens to be slaves?
What did Klingons do with slaves?
Apparently, you've never heard of Ruapenthe. They put a lot of people to physical labor in their mines.
And say, look, I sympathize with you. You're afraid. You've heard a lot of terrible things. But the way I see it, you've got 2 choices. You can die here of radiation sickness or death by Klingon, or you can take your chances and come with a Federation officer and her allies and take your chances
Hmm.
up there, I guess, if that's what you think.
While you're talking, you hear one of them say in the farther back, like, I am starting not to feel good.
So yeah, I would explain that like Gom'rok is literally blasting your planet full of torpedoes that are emitting like horrible amounts of lethal radiation. Like we're exposing ourselves right now, standing here having this conversation with you. If me and the Klingons wanted to kill you, we wouldn't be standing here killing ourselves either. Like we would just shoot you in the face. So like
All right, so roll command presence difficulty 1.
success. Oh, a critical success. A critical. Yeah, 2 successes.
Oh, great
Successes.
job on the critical. Great job
Thank
on.
you.
So one momentum back.
Nice.
So they all kind of look at each other like, okay. And they're like, we will believe you for now.
Okay,
What do
good.
you recommend to do, Captain?
Uh,
They say very.
yeah, they're unhappy. Get to the shuttles. I mean, that's your only way out.
So as they start to move, one of them gets over the communicator and they say, hey, come to the southeast area of the rim. There are shuttles here. If you come across a human and a Vulcan, believe what they're saying. There are shuttles here.
So I would ask these people, like, are there more of you down here? Like, that I need to go and find and get to the shuttles?
From what we can understand of in the main offices in the eatery and the gaming area, these are all of the people that we could find and who are alive. We are not able to go into the accommodations. There are just too many Klingons scouring our rooms.
So yeah, I saw that for myself. So okay, well, I spoke with as many people as I could find on the surface, as you just heard. If anybody else has their comms on, they could have heard that. So let's all get to the surface.
That's true. So now lose a momentum.
Okay.
No, new scene. That larger group of people are now moving back or going towards where the shuttles are. You,
Okay.
Sova, have been finding a smattering of people here and there. It's not like a lot. You're finding pockets of like 3, 4, 5 people here and there. Most of them in different states of radiation sickness and things of that nature. And you're finding that the longer that you stay close to the center, the more like disorienting it's becoming because like the bombardment is just jarring. It's not any better for the two of you inside the center either.
Yeah, so I would just like try to find Sova up on the surface. Can I hail him? Communicate with him? Badge
Yep,
him?
yep.
Yeah, so I would just call him up and tell him we found, as many people as we could. So let's get to the shuttles and just start, getting people on and basically just protecting them while we kind of stand in the open.
Understood.
So you guys progress back to the shuttles, and you guys kind of do it just in the right kind of time because you can kind of see behind you when you look over your shoulders that you're seeing kind of like where you guys went in and where like they came out from the one side of the blown out parts are like lots of Klingons are like milling about. And you progress to the shuttles, and as you get closer, you can see that the two shuttles are open, and each of the Klingons pilots are standing in the openings of the thing, and you can see that they're like gesturing for people to get aboard the shuttle, but you also see a very large grouping of Denobulans standing outside of the shuttles. They're not on the shuttles as you're approaching them. And as you get closer, you notice that there are no Denobulians in the shuttle at all. And you can hear a voice among the crowd saying, I recognize that crest. That's Gowry's crest. Look at it there on the shuttle. They're going to be taking us to Kronos and they're going to make us slaves. He's going to kill us all. This is just a trap.
Do I have to give my speech again?
Yep.
So you conversate with them, and most of them that are intermixed, some have heard you tell them what you've said, so they kind of are a little more easily won over. But there is a particular one there, you can tell you're not getting through to him.
Okay.
And as ones are starting to listen to your words, they are slowly getting onto the shuttle, but this one is telling them to get off of the shuttle.
So I would get up and get close to their face and just say to him like, "Do you understand that you have two
He's trying to kill
options?"
me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I am.
So I would just step back, put my hands up, like, and just start repeating myself and say, "You have two choices. You can stay here, or you can get on the shuttles and come with me, who's a part of the Federation. Here to help you. I responded to your distress signal. If I was going to kill any of you, I would have done it this whole entire time. I'm on your side. Like, you need to calm down."
I will stay here until I get confirmation that those people are not being sent to their doom.
Okay, fine. That's fine. But you're not gonna, yeah, that's fine. I just don't want him to keep trying to get people to stay behind, freak people out. I just want him to calm down and stop scaring everybody.
Okay, so one of the pilots says to you, Captain, he says, the Qel'thoq is providing enough cover fire that we can facilitate a large-scale evacuation. Gallery
Okay,
wants us to get as many off of here as possible.
agreed.
We will do this in as many attempts as possible.
All right. Well, be on your way then if you're full.
Okay, so not counting the pilot, they can hold 15 people. So it's an extended task between the two of you.
Okay.
The main role is command control, difficulty 3, resistance of 4, complication range of 18 to 20. Sova or whoever can assist with security presence. So the if you get a complication, it will
Yes.
increase the difficulty to a 4 the very first time you get it.
Okay.
If you get a second complication or any other complications after that one, it will result in you not being able to rescue as many.
Okay.
So it's a track of 14.
We have 2 momentum if you want to buy.
Yeah, I'll buy a dice. Okay. Okay, I have 3 successes.
So 4 successes. So 1 momentum back, unless you want to add it to the track. What is your command number?
A 4.
It's a 4, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a 5. All right, so I'll have to lower this. Okay. Well, I had to lower it to a 3 resistance, otherwise you would have made no impact there, unless you spent the momentum to go on the track. Okay. You have loaded up one of the shuttle with 15 people.
Yay.
Roll again.
Okay. Well, I have
Yep.
an 18, and then I have 2
I have an 19.
successes.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, you both rolled complications.
Did you buy extra dice?
Apparently I did, yeah, because I rolled 3.
Okay. We only have 1 momentum left.
Okay. Roll again.
I got 2 successes.
I did not.
Go ahead and roll again.
I got 1 success and a 19.
I got 1.
Okay, go ahead and roll again. So it's difficulty 4, just so you know.
Okay, 2 successes.
2
2.
successes. All
Take
right.
that.
So you
Well,
load up another 15 people, and they move on, and you officially save
30.
So far, right now, 30.
Yay.
Okay, roll again.
And I got two successes.
Okay, roll again.
I got one success.
Roll again.
I have one success and one 18.
Yep, I got an 18 as well.
Okay. Roll again.
I got a 19.
I got two successes.
Okay. Roll again.
I got two successes.
I rolled a 2. Yeah, skeptical doesn't help me, does it?
Well, I could say that you are using your focus because you understand skepticism, that you're helping people who are skeptical. Don't think that that's too much of a stretch. So that's four successes.
Yep.
Okay, so you load up another 15
Yay.
and go again.
I got two successes.
Okay, go again.
Ooh. I got two 18s.
Okay.
What does that do? Does that kill people?
Well, you'll find out.
Oh God.
Okay, go ahead.
I got two successes.
There we go. Look at that. So you load up another shuttle and you save another 30 and now you can go again.
Two successes.
Okay, roll again.
Two successes.
Roll again.
Okay, that's a 7. I got two successes.
You had one. Okay, roll again.
I have one 19 and one success.
I got a 19 as well.
Okay, roll again.
I got one success.
Okay, roll again.
Two successes.
Roll again.
I got two successes, and this time it is a 1.
Oh,
So doesn't that count as 3?
yeah. So you have three successes on your end, and then Andrews.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's 4.
So yeah. So then you load up another 15.
Yay.
So with that last straggle of people coming, they tell you that they think that they're the last to get on board.
Okay. Did Mr. Angry over here hear back from anybody to make him want to come up?
In that stretch, while that was happening, this Denobulan elder known as Stratland, he says, "I see that you're bringing them to the ship, and that I have only gotten positive reports, but Starfleet Command will still hear from me. I will still require an explanation for these things that are going on."
So yeah, you're welcome for saving you and your colony.
So you don't complete the work track, and of the 210 people you could have saved, you saved 75.
That's low, but still good.
Yeah. As you're getting Shetland onto the shuttle starts to get fired upon.
I would like to fire back.
Okay, yeah. When you turn to face them, there are about 50 plus Klingons coming towards the shuttle.
Can we just hurry up and get in the shuttle and go?
Could I try creating a dust cloud by shooting the ground? Because the ground is very loose.
Okay, yeah, let's do Science Insight difficulty 1. And then if you succeed on that, we'll make your security control difficulty 1. Otherwise, it'll be a 2.
I succeeded, but I got 20 as well.
Oh no.
Okay. The complication is that it'll stay at 2.
Okay.
So it's security control difficulty 2.
Phew.
Okay. So just as you're about to turn back, Captain, and fire at the people firing at the shuttle, you notice that it is a squadron of Klingons who are all screaming and charging towards the shuttles with various disruptors and blades and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're starting to put your heel onto the lip of the shuttle, you see Sova kind of do like this wide band thing with his laser weapon, and you watch him like skim all the top layer of like dirt and sand and like terrain off, and it starts to like push up and propel and make this kind of barrier, and you can only see like hazy outlines of Klingons. You can still hear them screaming and charging, and you know that they're not stopping.
I would say good work, Mr. Sova.
Thank you, Captain.
So you guys board, and the Troika says, "If it wasn't for the large numbers, I would stay here on the planet. But I know that gallery needs us more in space than here, defending a dead world."
I would just clap him on the shoulder and just give him a nod and just go sit down.
Just as you're about to like the shuttle doors are like sliding close and you can kind of see out this window, you kind of can see through the haze and stuff that all like of the Klingons that you can see that are kind of sort of coming through the haze now,
Yeah.
they don't have ridges.
Okay.
They're very human-like in appearance. And so the shuttle begins to lift off. The other shuttle is already departed. And as you guys are trying to breach the atmosphere, let's have you both roll a security fitness difficulty 1.
Got a 1 and a 2.
A 1 and a 2. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so 3 successes. Detroka got 2 successes.
I got a big fat 0, nothing.
Okay, so 2 momentum for Sova, right? Difficulty 1, I'm pretty sure is what I said.
Yep.
Yeah, so I get 2 back.
2 momentum. So as the shuttle is descending, all of a sudden the shuttle like buffets really hard, and you, Captain, are thrown into like the ceiling, and then like you slide like towards the back of the shuttle.
Perfect.
You can either spend 2 momentum and not get an immediate injury, or you can take 4 stress.
Do we have 2 momentum?
Yes, we have 3 altogether. Because I just got 2.
I'm not that worried about it. Seems kind of fun. Narratively, something interesting.
You can just write down if you want to care about it right this second, just that you take down 3 stress.
Instead of 4, I take 3.
3.
Okay.
So
Because I'm so strong.
as you slide up against the back, and the Troika and Sova turn to look at you, they can see out of the little windows the colony ring. All that's there is a giant cloud, and at the center where the center was is this cloud is billowing
Wow.
and making a mushroom cloud.
Oh no, we just barely escaped. So I'll say to the guy who's been rude, I'll say, see what you just escaped thanks to us.
Yeah, I'll see. So
Nice.
you guys get aboard the Qel'thoq, and one of the officers directs you to the bridge. So you two progress to the bridge, and Gowry is very sweaty and it kind of has like a crazed look on his face, and there are a lot of cables and smoke and debris on the bridge. And he says, Captain, did you rescue them all?
Weren't able to get everyone, but we we tried.
Gom'rok's vessel is too powerful. We are making a slow inroad, but not enough. They repair it too quickly. We need more vessels.
Sounds like we need to call the Federation for help. Unless you have more backup.
I have some ideas, but I think the first thing that we need to do is return to the facility and destroy it.
Okay. All
We
right.
must ensure that no more weapons are created. Look at what it has done. And he points at a monitor over at like the science station. And what you see is essentially the same look of what, you know, what you saw, but
Yeah.
now it's like an absolute like imagine like a tree stump that's been like harvest instead of it being like a flat ground with buildings, it's like a giant crater.
Wow.
There's like nothing.
That's
Um,
so sad.
and then Gowry says, and if he was able to do this around the planet, he could destroy it.
Yeah, this is not good. We definitely need to blow that place up.
So, what you also realize when you're looking at that and thinking about it, you guys left like within minutes of getting shot at.
Yeah.
And you know that transporters were difficult to be used, probably impossible to be used. So you could reason that the Klingons who were firing at you likely were just killed in the detonation.
Yeah. Good. Good. Very good. That's what they deserve. Good,
Which
good, good.
is interesting because one, they were Gom'rok's men, but also they appeared to be augmented.
Hmm. Interesting.
You basically are seeing that Gowry saying that he wants to eradicate augmented Klingons seems to be true.
Yeah. Cool. He's a real scumbag, eh?
So as you're standing up on the bridge and talking to Gowry and like discussing things with him, one of the Klingons at the at the council says, "Captain, there's an unauthorized communication."
Oh boy. I would tell Gomri, shut it down.
Hmm.
So intercept it. It's not good. It's not good. It's one of the
No, listen
Denobulan's.
to what she says. Cut it off. Cut it off. Uh, I'll try.
And I would explain to Gowry, like, this idiot thinks that you're a mass murderer and was belligerent about being getting on board and threatened to contact Starfleet.
So the com officer says he says, Captain, I was able to shut down the com, but I don't know how much got out.
Yeah, that's Foxwell's gonna love this.
So you hear Gowry grumble. I don't have time for these politics. Deposit these colonists on Iota 9, where the Suliban merchants can get them back to Denobulan, and then we will proceed with our plan.
If you excuse me, I think I need to go and lay down for a while and point to my bleeding head.
So Iota 9 is like 3 hours away. The Qel'thoq pulls away from Arolis Prime, basically what's left of Arolis Prime.
Yeah.
And Gom'rok's vessel does not follow Gowry's ship. So they all depart. They're pretty they're a mixture of like grateful, but they're also like really kind of confused.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And so as you guys are standing there and overseeing the 75 of them depart the Qel'thoq, Gowry takes you aside, Lieutenant, and he says, Lieutenant, I do not know if it's possible for Vulcans to feel offense, and you have been invaluable so far. But I do not know if you are best suited for the next phase I have in mind.
Oh boy.
I need a fighter to confront the facility's defenses and handle Klingon opposition.
First, I would assure him that Vulcans are incapable of feeling offense. And then I would inform him that I am well trained in hand-to-hand combat and can handle my own.
I have heard of Vulcan prowess, but I have also met your first officer, Arhat. Do you feel that my suggestion to return you to the Drake to make an exchange for yourself and Arhat to be foolhardy
How much combat are you expecting?
until there's blood in your eyes?
I
Because
love Klingons.
I know Hat is well skilled with a blade, so it may be prudent to bring him along.
I would agree. We shall make rendezvous with the Drake. I appreciate your willingness, Lieutenant. If our governments were not misaligned, I could see us both enjoying a day on the battlefield. And he gives like Sova like a really good hearty like back slap kind of thing. And he starts to like walk away from Sova.
So it just stands there, but deep down inside, he thinks, I finally get fresh air again.
So you, Knightley, are washing, like washing up and tending to yourself,
Yes.
and you are not really sure what Stretland got out.
Right. I just know I
When
am in deep doo-doo.
when confronted by Gowry and his men, he stayed tight-lipped and just kind of played off that he doesn't know what they're talking about. What we will conclude with, we'll do a cinematic conclusion that neither of you see, but would be what they would show on the television.
Nice.
What you guys would see on a cinematic view is you watch Gowry go up to his personal quarters in his room, and he walks over to his computer and he punches in a couple things and his monitor changes. And then you see him pull open like a slot in his desk. And then he rotates this kind of like part of his desk so that this thing flips the other direction. And there's a flashing yellow light, like a slow
Mm-hmm.
pulsing yellow light.
Mm-hmm.
And he presses it and it stops pulsing.
What the heck does that mean?
You and Hat will have to figure out in the next one.
Oh my God.
For whoever's keeping charge of it, this takes place on July 8th. So thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate you tagging along for episode 3 of House of Knightley Reputation. And next time, we'll catch up with the Drake and continue the adventure there. The captain returns. Until then,